It, right? It's my antenna, nano. So it is. It's very interesting. Things are going on right now. We've talked about a lot. Many of us that we, the people, are going to have to get, and we're going to have to take things in our own hands, right? And we're looking at that. Hello, sound not good. Hello, still not good sound. Jesus. So it might be something else going on. Oh well. If it still stays bad, we'll just call it. Sound is good. All right, good. Thanks, Sil. And a little gap because I'm gonna go to a different because we had a very interesting Spectrum vehicle that was outside the home that I'm at, and very early in the morning, and it was just sitting there. And I went out to put the trash out early before the trash truck came because it comes really early. And the Spectrum truck was out there. And I was like, that's unusual. And I went back to get another piece of trash, and then it was like it sped by. Right, it turned around because I'm in like where I'm at. There's no other homes around me, so it's really nice. And so very, very interesting. There's no other homes down the hill. There's no other homes up the mountainside, and there's a big gap separating us from the other houses. So very, very unusual. And then we started having computer problems, right? So we've talked about how, we get targeted. So I wonder what that Spectrum guy gets for extra pay, right? What he gets for like sabotaging people's internet. So anyway, going to be a little bit of a gap. I'm gonna go to Starlink instead of Spectrum, and hopefully that'll be better. Yeah, they probably put a bug in there, and it's not only affecting my computer, but other computers that people use in my household. So, yeah, Sully just frozen because I just switched, so you should see me now. All right, so I'm gonna play a little piece. If you guys didn't see the JJ Carroll interview that I did, like I said, it was kind of choppy on the sound. I guess kind of like what was happening here. But anyway, let me share the screen and have it pulled up to a very interesting spot where we were talking about how we, the people, are going to have to get involved because President Trump's not doing it. We're not seeing it from the judicial side. We're not seeing it from any side, right? The human trafficking, the child trafficking. So he's saying there's 500,000 children that came into our country during the Biden administration, and only 12,000, I believe that's what he said, are accounted for. 500,000. And then I shared a story of how I had a guest on that was talking about how her child, her son, her young son was basically raped to death, right? And the town basically covered it up. So it's I talk about that, and then he goes off. He's like, "How are we going to stop this?" So this is a good point.
How do we? Is it a violent revolution? Or maybe the better question is, when does America and Americans say, "All right, I'm beyond my limit. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to." I know it's a dirty word because the left made it dirty, but it's not. Our founding fathers absolutely believed in it. Militias. When are men, particularly men, I blame it all on the men, not the women, I blame it on the men. When are the men going to rise up and say, "All right, Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, whatever, we got a militia. We're going to have 100,000 regiment militia. and then other states do that. Do you think that could ever happen? I think that's the only way. I really, really believe.
So unfortunately, to a great extent, I do. Now we went on and talked about how ICE, there are actually Marines and other military, National Guard and so forth that are moving around the town, taking out, because we went deep, a little bit deeper about the terrorism cells that are here in the United States. I talked about Mumbai. It happened in 2008 in India. They only 10 guys for 3 days went around and shot up and killed almost 300 people, and 300 people were injured. They couldn't stop them. So imagine that happening to multiple cities, like hundreds of cities here in the United States, because there's tens of thousands of terrorist cells that we know are here. All right, so there's lots of things that we have to get cleaned up. One of those things, like my guest is going to talk about, Cindy Young, who I went to Washington, D.C. and saw her court case and was there to basically represent and back her up. It was a sham. It was a sham trial. Upwards of 1,200 mostly innocent Americans went through sham trials in Washington, D.C., and they were illegally convicted, in my opinion, just like Cindy Young was. So she's going to talk a little bit about some deeper aspects of that trial, because I was there at the trial and I was like, there's no way these people are going to convict her. And just like we saw with every trial, the people of Washington, D.C. that were on those jurors convicted everybody. So Cindy Lou's going to talk about a little bit of that. Cindy.
Hey, Mike, how you doing? It's been a minute.
So good. Thanks for coming on. I've been wanting someone from the J6, after President Trump basically, pardoned everybody, somebody to come on and talk about that. So Thanks for coming on.
Well, first of all, I'll start with the pardons, because there is a lot of confusion with people as far as what the pardons really gave us. For me, myself, I had been through the whole trial, as you know, you were with me. So I had gone through the whole process, and what the pardon did was the pardon sits on top of my conviction. It didn't clear it off my record because I was convicted. So I have the conviction on the 4 misdemeanors, and then I have the pardon that sits on top of it. So really, I didn't go to jail. All right. So I'm very grateful about that. I am. But if, say I needed to get a new job, or what a lot of people are facing, they look at the record and they don't want anything to do with you.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Jeez.
And we still have we have 13 guys that are all military that never got the pardon. They were the ones that they gave clemency to. So in getting clemency, they still don't have their veterans benefits.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So those guys, those were mostly Oath Keepers and Proud Boys that had the big trials in the beginning. And these poor guys, they have no benefits. They have no jobs. People are really hurting in the J6 community still. Wow. As a result of what went on. And that's not to say they're not grateful for the pardon that they got and the clemency that they got, but there needs to be more. There really does. There needs to be some type of protection. I just did another show. There was a guy in New York, an artist, and he did this wall of shame, and he put everybody's picture and everybody's charges and what they supposedly did according to NPR in the Capitol that day. And they made this whole wall, the whole month of July. So our faces are all over the place in New York, and people are going to this wall, and the narrative just keeps rolling.
So they created a wall of shame, and they're just keeping it going. Holy crap. Oh my God, these Democrats are like out of control.
They're evil. They're just sick, evil people. And speaking of sick, evil people, so I'm in the middle of writing the book of
Nice.
my story.
Great.
And in doing that, I started going through the trial transcripts. And I had remembered that Jonathan, at the end of the trial,
Hmm.
he asked the judge, he brought up a
Your
rule. And
lawyer.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
He
And
was
he,
absolutely incredible.
yeah. And
Unbelievable.
remember
In
when he
any other
brought up,
court, any other circumstance, you would have walked out of there a free person. They would have been paying you for
yeah,
like damages done,
yeah.
but not there
Not
in
in
Washington,
DC.
D.C.
No, no. So he had asked at the end of the trial, he brought up this rule that Harvey didn't even know what he was talking about, that he wanted to call in the jurors after the verdict and speak to them all. Remember that? Were you
Yeah.
there for that? Yeah.
Yep. I remember that.
And Harvey balked at it and he had to look it up and all this stuff. Only one juror stayed behind. Only one had the guts to talk to Jonathan about their verdict. But the juror that stayed behind said a lot. He said, "We are so glad that the foreman was an attorney himself, and he actually guided us on the law and what it meant and how we came to our verdict." So I have this in my memory banks, and I'm
Yeah.
looking through the transcripts, and I come up on juror 374, who sat in seat 12. Jeremy Brinster is his name. And I know this is the guy. I know it.
Mm.
And so anyway, I start looking this guy up, and all of a sudden I'm into the WikiLeaks email dumps that were out there.
Mhm.
And this guy was on the DNC. He was a research staffer on the DNC in 2016, back when Bernie Sanders was running against Hillary Clinton. And he actually won the primary in New Hampshire, but Hillary Clinton had gotten in with a super PAC in New Hampshire. I'd never even heard of a super PAC, but there were super PACs. And so the people of New Hampshire voted for Bernie Sanders. He won, but the super PAC came in and gave all their votes to Hillary. And so there was email dumps about this whole situation, and it was released to WikiLeaks. And this guy, Jeremy Brinster, is part of the emails that came up.
Wow.
Yeah.
The guy
So
that was
then-
at your trial guiding everybody,
yeah.
and they're so
the
happy
juror-
that they were there. But
And
he'd
that's-
been in other trials too, hadn't he?
I think so. And not only that, but there were questions in the voir dire. You weren't there for the jury questioning, but they asked 32 questions. Question number 30 was, do you have any strong feelings about Donald J. Trump or his supporters? He didn't answer that question. So he never raised. So what happens is when they answered yes to any question, they were brought up to the stand and they were asked more questions by the prosecution or the defense or the judge to kind of go over why they responded the way they did. But if he never answered the question, he never raised the flag of his bias, which he obviously had, being a DNC staffer, right? So anyway, he slides through and he becomes the foreman of my jury. Not only do I find out that piece about Bernie Sanders, but then as I'm looking, it says he was the early point of data exfiltration on emails dating back to April 19th, 2016, before most other DNC staffs were generating these emails that all of a sudden kicked up during Russiagate.
Wow.
Yeah.
He goes all the way back to there?
Yep.
Wow.
And then the person that infiltrated and dumped that infiltrated the servers and got all the information dumped to WikiLeaks was no other than Guccifer 2.0. Well, Guccifer 2.0 was Seth Rich. Do you know who Seth Rich was?
That was the guy they killed because he
Mhm.
basically gave all that information to WikiLeaks
Yeah.
And then he mysteriously died. They said it was a robbery, but he still had his wallet in his back pocket.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
So this Jeremy Brinster is really, he's a piece of shit. And
Yeah. Mm.
yeah. So we have that. So what I did was, he's a lawyer. He was barred out of Texas. So I've gone to the Texas bar and filed a complaint about him. I've
Good job.
gone back to the judge to reopen my case and say, you either give me a mistrial or you vacate my conviction because
There you go.
this is bogus.
Good
So
job.
he's on the hook to do that. I also filed a complaint about him to the judicial bar. So I've done all those three things.
I mean,
and
I thought that judge, he could have gone either way.
you
But
thought, but I think it was theater, Mike.
yeah, sure.
He did and said just what he needed to cover his butt. Really.
Yeah, that's when you look back on it, that's definitely true. So
Yeah.
man, you probably have like a shopping list of things you get him on.
Oh yeah. In fact, I don't know if you were there the day, it was the first day you came in that day where the prosecution was putting on their case. And if Jonathan would get up to object or, raise some kind of a concern, when the judge addressed Jonathan, he would just say, Jonathan's name is Jonathan Gross. And he would just say, Gross, Gross. And I'm sitting there, I'm pissed at this. And I'm putting little numbers every time he did it, right? And finally, Jonathan went up to the clerk and he said, is he calling me gross? Because everybody else was Mr. and Mrs. and the proper, introductions.
Etiquette for
Yeah.
judge to address the
In front of a jury.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So the clerk says, oh, I'm fixing it in the transcripts. So he's calling him gross and she's writing Mr. Gross. That's how it rolls in DC.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
So that's in his
racket that guy
complaint.
going
I
into
put that in the complaint. What else did I put in the complaint about? Oh, well, I got into pretrial. His first statement to me, the first day where they lay out the rules of the road, how you're going to handle court, he sat back in his seat and he said to both of us, I don't want to hear anything about the First Amendment in my courtroom. And Jonathan pushed back a little bit and he said, I think you think the First Amendment gives you more leeway than it really does, Mr. Gross. So I put that in his complaint too. These people, they think they've been squatting in those seats way too long. And it's time that they're not squatting in those seats anymore. They think they're untouchable.
But they need to find out. And if they don't find out through the right judicial system, the Second Amendment stuff's gonna bite their ass.
Yeah, I heard you guys talking. I want to be part of that. Why not? So you froze up, I think. Did you freeze up on me? Oh no. Maybe you'll come back. Or maybe I'm gone. Oh no. Maybe I need to go out. Up.
Nope.
You're back. Okay.
Yeah. I guess we're hitting on some stuff they don't like.
Possibly. And I had to ask you, Mike, with your background, because you've been this walk for many months, many years with me.
Mm-hmm.
And we uncovered the whole thing about Gordon Dean on the plane and all that. Do you think people are targeted from early ages? Do you think?
Absolutely. Of course they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
And for both ways.
Yeah.
If you were like corruptible, then you would have been.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe part of that DNC party or something. Doing corrupt things, but you're not. You're incorruptible, and so you get targeted in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
Because it goes all the way back to when you're a little little girl in that plane crash.
Yep. And I really think January 6th, there was so much going on that, you
Mhm.
know, as I get clearer about it and look at it, I believe they were using frequency on us. And I believe that they infiltrated the crowd, you know, not only with the rubber bullets and the CS gas to stir them up, but I think they used frequency too.
Yeah,
They, yeah,
yeah, I believe it because
yeah,
they were EMPing the whole area, so we couldn't have cell service,
yeah, yeah,
record everything.
yeah. And I think too, they messed with there's bits and pieces that are clear, but there's bits and pieces that aren't. And it's like they almost maybe somehow they erase memory. I don't know. Maybe I'm being very conspiracy here, but you know, it's things that make you wonder for sure.
No doubt
So,
about
yeah. So there's that piece. Then there's also recently there was a case introduced by Harry Dunn, who was one of the Capitol Police players that lied to the J6 committee about what was going on, and he cried and all this stuff, right?
it. Yeah.
Well, he filed a lawsuit against the architect of the Capitol recently because he's mad that his plaque hasn't been installed with his name on it for his heroic services that day. So
Wow.
I filed a motion to intervene and said, and
Nice.
said, okay, if we're going to have a plaque, let's honor everybody. Let's honor the judges who ruined the lives of over 1,500 people. Let's honor the FBI and the prosecutors. And oh, how about the 4 dead people that were Trump supporters? Let's put them on the plaque too, because they truly deserve it. And so I'm sitting waiting for the judge to rule on that because they slow walk everything. But I'm out there, me and Brian Mock. Hello to Brian Mock, and we're
Good.
both pushing back on him a little bit. So,
And you know, this is how we win. We have a little window here. I don't know how long it's going to last, where
yeah,
we can you can push back, but
Mhm.
at some point, the American people are going to have to stand up. The judges is just too much corruption, more than Trump, even Trump, who's does amazing work, and his group.
He can't do it alone, and he is surrounded. You know, Jonathan now works for the DOJ, and
Wow, good for him.
yeah,
Happy about that. He is a brilliant man. Good.
right, good for him. But you know, the swamp is still all around him, and he goes
Yeah.
in there every day, and he's doing what he can. And I wish him the best. But it's still a very dangerous place to be when you're not on the right side.
Sure. Wow. I didn't even think about that. You think that, okay, they got, Kash Patel and, Bondi and all these other people in there.
Well,
It's got to be better now, but no, they're just one person, and you can be the head, but everybody below you can be corrupt, and you're not going to get anything done. That's what we're saying.
And I mean, you know, I look at Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, and I call her Scam Bondi because she hasn't done much. And these people, they know this stuff that's going on, and nothing is I don't see anything being done. Everybody says there's stuff going on in the background. Well, I want to see people perp walked. I want to see them in cuffs. I want to see them give the J6 treatment. That will be justice to me.
I don't think it's going to happen.
No.
And like there's a quote here from Juan. He says he stated very clearly that the system is so rigged it cannot be unrigged, implying it has to be taken down and rebuilt.
So let's burn the place to the ground.
Second Amendment, because they don't honor our First Amendment.
Yeah, they don't. They don't care about the Constitution. They don't care about you and I. We're nothing. So it's time to really stand. You know, J6, we tried to. And I think what they did was they tried to put people in a fear state, do this, and this is what's going to happen to you. Well, you know, more of us, maybe we need 5 or 6 million of us, you know?
Yeah. God, it's insane.
It is. It's I never thought that this was the state of the country, you know? I never thought that I'd be sitting here knowing what I know today about what's gone on in our country. It's really sad.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you came on and gave us a little bit more insight.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Thanks for having me.
it's not just like carte blanche. Okay, you guys, no more.
Yeah.
You don't go to
All
jail.
better.
No, it's just like a whitewash at that.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like, I don't want to sound ungrateful because I obviously didn't go into prison like I was supposed to. I
Yeah.
was supposed to do 4 months in prison for
Boy,
walking through a building with a flag.
You guys just like massage that just right, and it just some magically happened just perfect for you. That's really great.
My pardon was signed on the 27th of January, and I was supposed to report to prison on the 28th for 4 months.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I remember that. That was incredible. Wow. That is like just under the wire.
Yeah.
You slid in to home plate just as the ball from into the mitt.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. So, thanks for having me, Mike, and I'll be glad to come and give you an update when that book is out. And
Oh yeah, we got to talk about that. That's
yeah,
gonna be great. Yep.
yeah, it's going to have Jonathan is going to do a piece of his reflection of the trial, and you're going to be in it because you're a piece of the story. So
Awesome.
it'll be a good story. It will.
Yeah. That was a good time. I mean, we all bonded, supported each other. I'm happy about that.
Me too.
And meeting Jonathan and just everything was just great.
Yeah.
Meeting you, and so you're a rock, So
maybe my head's a rock.
Yeah. So you withstood the waves very well. So well, congratulations, at least on your minor victory. Hopefully we can build it into something more going forward.
Sure. And for anybody that's interested in knowing the truth about J6, come visit my channel on Rumble. I'm interviewing J6ers on a regular basis and putting the truth out there. And if you're interested in the truth, that's where you'll find it.
Fantastic.
J6. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Cindy.
All right. Thank you, Mike.
And great information. Appreciate it.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So, wow, how about that? All those J6ers, you think it's like, yep, you're good. No, it's like you still have a record of having been gone to trial, and it's staying with them. So it's going to affect their, career opportunities going forward. Maybe even they can't even get a job. I thought that once it was done, because I donate to the J6. I've been doing it for quite some time. And after the pardon, I was like, all right, well, it's good. I guess we can stop the donations now. And they're like, oh no, we are all in a bad way, and it's going to continue for a while. And that's like, okay, I'll keep sending money. So it is, if you can, send to those guys. It is, I know everybody's hurt now. So whatever you can, help those guys with the J6 group. All right. So let's look at, so we're talking about basically rising up against the system, and we, the people, have to do it. In London, they're doing it. All right. So I hope that we get motivated to do it ourselves, because I believe we're going to have to.
I've gone across the road to signs, but not signs, they're obviously the ribbons on the signs and everything. So essentially what we're dealing with is today we have a huge number of protests across the UK and in London, Essex, everywhere. Hang on, this siren is going to be loud. And then there's a new tactic. A lot of people are now doing smaller protests in each local area. This is loud. Hang on. 1 second. Doesn't help. Okay. As I was saying, so the new tactic is to use smaller groups in each area, smaller protests. We've got the British Patriots and the Jewish community in North London who've come out against the Islamists. Of course, they've got the yellow ribbons in solidarity with the hostages in Gaza. This group, small group, started already just now, walking from St. John Wood's station in North London. There's a group across there as well. And these guys we're now walking towards the end destination. And people seem to be all over the place right now. So I'm just going to show you all the...
All right. So the fight against Islamists, it is enough is enough. So the people of London are pushing back. They have like these grooming gangs that they talked about. Their judicial, their police, it sounds familiar, judicial, police, and their politicians are doing nothing about the rape of young women, young girls by these grooming gangs. It's epidemic. And, there's been a lot of people that were police officers and so forth, would resign because they saw what was going on. People are done with it. What's going to happen in America for people to say enough is enough? All right. So they're pushing back on this. It's going to be interesting to see where this goes. But this is going to start to gin up around the world, I believe. People are going to rise up because the established, political system, which is basically aligned against us, as we're seeing, has to be pushed back on. Yep. I mean, we can just say no, and they can just say too bad. Remember, with COVID, all right? That's a great indicator of if they get enough power, they get enough control, they can really crank it on us. So what stopped them from coming in and force vaccinating was guns, all right? Second Amendment. People started speaking out, said, you come into my home, you're not gonna walk out alive, right? So that's going to have to come out of the home, and it's going to have to start to go elsewhere. So, we've talked about tactical civics for quite some time, and a tactical civics group has to stand up and start a judicial process and start to, determine who the criminals are, not just in the community, but outside the community in a larger aspect, and get the backing of the local law enforcement, military involvement, so forth, and that's tactical civics. And if need be, stand up a militia. If the tactical civics group gets impeded or any pushback on them, then you stand up a militia, right? And then anyone that wants to come and F around, they're going to find out. So this is where this has to go. At some point, it's going to start. What will it be to start it? Right? The Trump administration and so forth. If you listen to the show that I just did with JJ Carroll, we talked about this. Everybody knows most of the politicians are pedophiles. Most of them. And then the ones that aren't know who are. So they all know, but none of them do anything about it. None of them. Right? So when is enough enough? Right? And that's just one aspect of many that has to be fixed. So not only, the child trafficking, the judicial stuff, two-tier judicial system where, it's against us and it's for them. All right. We see that with all of those politicians that should be in jail by now, or maybe they've already been dealt with. Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Obama, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer. I mean, pretty much all of them. Pretty much all of them. Yep, they're all in it together. They're all in it together. Stork deliveries. Right. Yeah. So we have to, the people, you know, we just start to do our civic duty. And, you know, we push back against the school system. They got out of line on our kids. And now we have to like start to push back on our mayors, and then on and on and on. So it'll be a concentric wave. Kimberly, I agree with you. So once you start, once one group starts, it'll resonate and it'll start to move out, and then more and more people get involved. All right, so we've already set the stage for that. We've been talking about it for years now. And, you know, we do have a little bit of help from our local governments. And as you see here in Texas, Texas state Democrats flee. So instead of staying in the Capitol and voting for redistricting, which will basically do what Democrats have been doing for decades, you know, push out Republican possibilities and so forth so they can get the votes and get all the positions. Now the Republicans, or at least some good ones, are going to, like, you know, you've effed around and now you're going to find out, right? You're going to get what you've been giving. And so the Democrats in Texas are fleeing the Capitol, so there won't be enough congressmen and women there to vote. They played this game in Texas a couple times now, where they just leave the Capitol. Unless they have an emergency, they need to pass a law there in Texas. Unless you have some type of emergency, you must be here to vote. But somehow these Democrats have been playing this game where they just flee. They, instead of being there to vote, because the Republicans have enough votes, but they have to have at least a certain amount of people there, right? So if the Democrats en masse flee, then there's not enough people sitting in seats to get bills passed. So Jasmine Crockett panics. She's probably one of the ones fleeing. She is a wicked witch girl. Ooh. And I can't believe there's people that like her, and I've seen them. Seemingly intelligent people say that they like her. And I'm like, wow. Okay. All right, then. Jasmine Crockett panics over losing seat in Texas redistricting shakeup. So rightfully so, that witch is about to go away. Yeah. Jezebel. Absolutely. She is about as bad as they come. There's so many like that. That's why we have to stand up. That's why we have to stand up, guys. Tactical civics and militias. That's why. All right. So it's coming down to that. And that's just one thing. You know how we have all these illegal aliens here that are terrorists? Because of those Democrats. Sanctuary cities. Yeah. So there will be probably justice for them. So we'll have probably former military lawyers, judges that will be, that will come in and stand up. Court systems, civic court systems, and we will try those people. And they don't have to be there. They don't have to be there, right? The Democrats can run like they like to do and talk smack. It's okay. We have all the evidence. You'll be convicted, and then we'll come for you, right? So that's pretty much, I think, what's coming. And that's just one. That's just one at the political system, the corrupt political system, the corrupt medical system, the corrupt judicial system, the corrupt law enforcement system, on and on, educational system. It's like, I know CIA needs to be like cut more than in half. 60, 70% CIA needs to go away. Same thing with the FBI. Same thing with the FDA. Same thing with every 3-letter agency that's out there. 60, 70% cut. All right. So let's look at, what I think is happening as far as the deep state basically manipulating some of this earthquake and volcanic activity. So we know that they have sophisticated weaponry. We need only look at Lahaina, LA, and multiple directed energy weapon attacks all over the world to know that the deep state has some very significant weaponry. Hurricanes that get way out of control, way not normal by any standard whatsoever. So they're going to probably, and I think they have, well, we know they already have. Lahaina, LA is the greatest example. We have many all over the country. I've been pointing them out all over the country, in Texas, in Oklahoma, in New Mexico. They've been using directed energy weapons for several years now, in very obvious places. 15-minute cities. They want a 15-minute city to just burn the city down to the ground and they just build it back, right? That's what they're doing in a lot of places. All right, so sun and earth energies are ramping up. There is a consciousness factor that's going on here as well, right? So that's a deeper conversation. But on the scientific surface, we know that the sun, whether it's being implemented to, throw off more energies, or if it's just a natural cycle of things, there's that, I believe. But there's also manipulation that goes on, and we've already seen it. We've seen earthquakes that have gone off that are very suspect. I've been pointing them out for years. So these guys are going to turn up the heat on us. And I think it's going to be, you remember their last straw, the last thing, if everything else fails, they're going to do that one project where it comes in, Project Bluebeam, right? Alien invasion. The aliens come in and they just start causing tsunamis and earthquakes. They zap cities with directed energy weapons like they've already been doing, but they'll be even more on a even greater level. And we'll see like flying saucers because they already have all of these. All right. And then, the economy collapses and they'll be like, all right, so we got an option. We have an option. Let us be completely and totally in control of all the money, and we'll kick their ass magically, and we'll be in complete control, and you'll like it. And we'll make 15-minute cities everywhere to protect you against further attacks in the future. So it's not going to happen. We're already starting. We've been diving it. We've been calling this out for a long time. And I say it's not going to happen, but COVID happened. We told everybody COVID was bullshit. All right. So they locked down, half the world, most of the world, and 80% of most of the world got vaccinated with the death shot. Right.
Geophysicist Stefan Burns here. We have just had a double earthquake burst on the Pacific Plate, the most notable release of seismic energy.
Okay, so remember, my remote views are, I saw the energies of earthquakes seesaw back and forth in the area of Russia and Japan. That's happening. That's been happening. And then I saw a massive, extremely massive, not the one that just happened, but one way even bigger earthquake, tsunami type thing. And then it's almost like a straight shot goes right to the Oregon-California border undersea and kicks off a massive earthquake, which causes a devastating tsunami sometime in the middle of August. That's what I got. And it happens early, very early in the morning when most everybody's asleep, right? So pretty good devastation. Now, can it be stopped? Maybe. That's all I'm going to say, because we have a lot of different factors that are coming in. Now, watch how, as you see here, there was an earthquake, and within another hour, this is at the edge of the Pacific Plate. And then at the other edge of the Pacific Plate, there's another big earthquake. So it wouldn't be that far-fetched for a big earthquake here and then another big earthquake here, because they're showing us now. They're showing us. Now, another thing you need to start to look for, because they've already started the reveal of ETs and craft and all that kind of stuff. They've been revealing that stuff. If it starts to pick up pace, we know it's coming. It starts to pick up pace. Oh, look, back in 1986, we had this flying saucer type thing. It just went zip right across the sky, and because we've already started to see that, and maybe they'll start to release more of that, and maybe even ET looking beams that they have, all that kind of stuff. So I think it's going to start to ramp up. If it does ramp up, we're going to project that blue beam.
Since that magnitude 8.8 megaquake on July 29, 2025. It started with this magnitude 6.4 there, down at the bottom of the Pacific Plate, rubbing up against the Antarctic Plate. And then less than an hour later, we had this magnitude 6.8 pop off just to the southwest of the location of the magnitude 8.8 megaquake.
All right. So all of this stuff is starting to heat up. As I said it before the year started, that we're going to see it this year, right? I also said that this coming winter is going to start early, and it's going to be one of the most severe winters in history, right? Or if we go back to caveman days, probably a lot worse back then. But in our current, recording of these events. All right, so here's another one, a very interesting, where the Earth seems to be splitting open and volcanoes are erupting. Remember I said a volcano is going to start to erupt in America.
Today by east to west. And
all right, so this is around the same time frame as that boom, that earthquake from one far side of the plate, Pacific Plate, all the way to the other, right? So right around that time frame, we're having another Russian volcano explodes 600 years last time it erupted. So things are really starting to get wonky with the Earth. So this is Mr. MBB 333.
I was just looking for updates, and I know they're saying that there could be an even bigger earthquake over here in this ongoing swarm. There was just a 5.2 right here as I was getting ready to do this video. And as you can see, the earthquakes are stacked on top of each other. Last night, there was a 7.0. I believe it was downgraded to a 6.9. From what I understand, that created a tsunami that you're going to see in this video down in the Kuril Islands, about 400 miles to the south. But do you see anything interesting with this still image right here? When I first looked at it, I'm like, wait a minute, are there one or two volcanoes erupting over here? So here's what I did. I went to, right here, Google Earth. We're going to check out some other locations on Google. Here's the volcano that's erupting. And this is where the crack is. It's getting bigger. It's happening right now as I do this video. So I'm looking at this picture and I'm like, wait a minute. There's multiple plumes there. I even put it on the photo that I'm sharing with you guys. And this spans over an area, over probably 20 miles or so. There's a fissure there that opened up. And not only is the volcano erupting for the first time in over 600 years in recorded history, now there's a crack that's opened up and it's leaking. How much bigger is it going to get? Let's put it this way. If the earthquake activity continues, and there's another 8.8 earthquake over there, then it obviously will get bigger. And we could see even more earthquake or more volcanic activity. We're probably going to see more volcanic activity as the sun picks up, the sun energy, and it's going to pick up. Hey, Tina Vaca.
All right. So that sun energy picking up, it looks like it's coming. All right. So it's going to be coming around the time frame where I predicted. Right. So let's look. Let's look at what's coming. Do 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 do. Here comes the sun, and I say.
Down here, it's also 4153 is firing solar storms. So we are going to continue to watch these regions as they continue to rotate through the far side of the sun, because who knows, maybe in about 10 days, we'll start seeing some decent activity again.
Decent? You mean like dramatic for the Earth? Decent activity. All right. So I guess that's the way geologists are. They like, oh, it's decent. It's usually not like this. All right. So this sun activity is also affecting the weather. So it's not just earthquakes and volcanoes and tsunamis. It's also the weather. So it's already chilly, guys. I live here in Lake Tahoe, and the nights are very chilly. And it doesn't start to warm up until mid-afternoon. And I've lived here like on and off for many years, and I never remember it being this chilly in the winter, in the summer. Usually summer's warm, right? It's chilly at night. So why is California so chilly this summer? It's because the energies are changing. We're going into a grand solar minimum. It's been so cold in San Francisco, painters on the Golden Gate Bridge had to break out heaters. Now, it says San Francisco is seeing the coldest start to a summer in over 2 decades, and nobody has felt the chill more than the people tasked with painting the Golden Gate Bridge. So this is, you can't deny this. It's like, oh, yeah, you think it's cold, but it's like, I'm in my basement and it's really warm, right? I have people do that. There was flooding in New York a couple of days ago, and the subway systems flooded, and I talked about how all those people, the people in basements and so forth, again probably got flooded out. I was like, when I was in Florida, everybody on the island and all the way up and down the coast, first floors were all flooded. Close to the coast, all of them. And if you're on the second floor, then everything on the second floor survived, but everything on the first floor was ruined. So I had some smarty pantsies that said, I live in New York and I got a basement. I didn't get flooded. Oh, okay. Well, good for you. Silly person. All right. So you can't deny it, because you have people that are there doing this type of work year after year, decade after decade, and they're saying they haven't seen it like this. This is the first time in a long time that we've used the heaters in summer. The first time in a long time. We are using them most days this summer, whereas in prior summers, we might use them for a day or two all season. Did I say that's slow enough for you people that live in basements? San Francisco, where 70 can be considered a hot summer day, is known for its cool summers. But this year, June and July were even chillier than normal. The average afternoon high downtown was 63.7, making it the coldest since 1999. Flip those nines, and that's a 666. Because of the city's proximity to the Pacific Ocean and the blanket of fog that often hugs the California coast, temperatures tend to stay cool here. But inland, where I am, it's usually warmer. How about Sacramento? So Sacramento, this summer, that nip in the air has been felt up and down the coastlines of northern Central California and into the Sacramento Valley. Just an hour south of the city, San Jose. Do you know the way to San Jose? I've been away so long. Yes, I don't know that I've ever been there, so it's been a long, long time. All right. Saw its 10th coolest start to summer, with records going back more than 100 years. That's all you got? Right? That's all you got? Oh, that's right. We took California from the Spanish. Yeah, so haven't been that long. All right, the average high was 76.9 compared to the normal 81.2. Right? That's a lot. That's a lot because that means there's a lot cooler and maybe just a little bit warmer, but not as much as 81, right? So it says in July, the average afternoon high in Napa, the epicenter of California's wine industry, was 5 degrees below normal. Vintners noticed it as the grapes in the Napa Valley softened and changed color later this summer. So this is science. You can't mess around. You can't say, my basement dwelling is warm. Right? So it's science. This stage in grape growing is visual and easily observed, with red grapes going from green to purple. Love those grapes. Napa, good stuff, right? Now, Sacramento, which is very far inland. So the same story in Sacramento, which saw only 1 day above 100 last month in July, which is usually very hot. The city had in 2024, last year, the city had 21 days. 21 days create a habit. Do you guys know that? I teach that in my courses. All right. Anyway, 21 days of 100 plus degree heat in July. They only had 1. So, okay, Mark. So maybe you'll be right. Maybe you'll be right this time. All right. All right. So now another indicator. Now, I used to say this back during the COVID days. I said, watch Australia. Whatever they get away with pushing on the poor Australian people, if they get away with some bullshit when it comes to COVID, locking people down, making them do masks, quarantining them, all that kind of shit, they're going to probably get away with it and try it in America. All right. So remember, New York was trying to quarantine people that didn't get vaccinated. Because we called it out. We called it out. Yay. So they usually can't get away with their mischief if we call it out soon enough. So not only did they try it once, then they tried to circle back and do it quietly. Kind of like when they did in 1913, started the Federal Reserve, when most of the Congress people were gone and they had just enough that were paid and they got it through. Federal Reserve. It's not federal. And they ain't got no reserve, all right? And they started the IRS to do the collection for this criminal enterprise mafia group of federal banksters, right? So Oz has fallen. You think? I don't think so. There's a lot of strong Aussies there. They're like Americans. They get pushed, they'll fight, right? So Aussies are fighters. I'm confident. I've worked with them. So you love my singing, Boo Boo? You're the only one, but it's fun, right? I give it a shot. And so it's fun. Sing along sometimes when I do that. Do you know I used to remember that as a kid. They used to, it was like when I was a kid, they played that so much. And yet I found out, that those people that used to sing those songs for cities, they got paid for that. It didn't matter that their songs were hits. If they were hits, that's great because they told all the people that play music, you're going to play this song, whether people like it or not. And eventually they're going to like it because they hear it so much. It's kind of like those lies they tell. They tell them enough and then people believe it, right? So, so they would, I remember hearing that those one-hit wonders, Do You Know the Way to San Jose, they got a lot of money for that. All right. So, yeah. So some people can sing, some people can't. I just kind of fake it. So it's good. So speaking of Australia, what's going on down in Australia? Because remember, like I said, what happens in Australia usually happens in America because they're getting it first, right? So, boom, the snow that surprised the New South Wales Northern Tablelands. The prospect of snow on the Northern Tablelands may have felt like wishful thinking for some. A promising weather forecast earlier in the week had seemed to have fizzled to drizzle by Friday. Fizzle to drizzle. Those Aussies are very clever with their words. Although, like Barbie and, the Barbie, you got to throw a steak on the Barbie for me, yes. And so, yes, there's you go there, it's like crazy how many they have. Although weather chasing social media identities disagreed, it wouldn't happen. But lo and behold, the sheep and the sheepdogs are like, they're surprised. It's like, I thought you said it wasn't going to snow. They're shocked look. You said it wasn't going to snow. Oh, yeah. It snowed. It snowed enough so they can make some biggies, big snowmen. All right. All right. Look at those Aussie girl boots. Purple. That's cute. All right. Aussies have like those Ugg boots. Remember those Ugg boots? They started in Australia. I don't think the Aussies wear those anymore. Like only Americans. So some travelers were stuck in Glencoe for some time, waiting for the New England highway to reopen, right? So planes were, down. The bulls are like, whatever, all right, I can handle it. So it was beautiful wonderland, white wonderland. All right. Even the Aussie Rules rugby group. Aussie Rules are the best. Yep. You better be badass if you play Aussie Rules rugby. Ooh, tough. All right. So these men are tough, and I like that. It's good to have tough men because you got to push back on the deep state, right? And I think those tough guys are probably going to do that at some point. All right. So it's going to happen everywhere. It's going to happen everywhere. Let's look at this one. This is a little video. I think you guys are like this.
Been blanketed today, but while the Wonderland was a delight for some, others felt winter's wrath as a thunderstorm raged along the coast.
Beanies and budgie smugglers.
Beanies and buggy smugglers or something. I don't know. So see how these guys are out, running in their Speedos or whatever. At least they got something on. At least they got something on, because I was introduced to naked drinking in Australia. And it is a thing, right? It is a thing. It's real. Of course, I imported it back to America. It was well received for a while, but it didn't catch on. The Aussies do it the best. So here they are running around in the little skinny little tights. So that's fine, because that's kind of the way the Aussies are. They're very proper. And they learn that from the English, of course. But when they get a chance to unwind, boy, they have some fun.
Dress code for these runners. And golf clubs swapped for skis in Guyra. New South Wales's northern tablelands today blanketed in snow. Farms turning white as the winter flurries danced into town. Waterfall Way 2 feeling pretty magical. And even the boys in blue got amongst the fun. Locals sharing their winter wonderlands online, saying they haven't seen snow like this in 50 years. However,
They haven't seen snow like this in how long? You're right if you said 50 years. All right, you were paying attention. Good. You weren't just listening to that Aussie voice and mesmerized by it. So it is. It's fun. Aussies, I just want to listen to them. It's like, just talk. Let's talk, and I'll drink and listen to you talk. So it's great. That's the way it used to be. All right. So yeah, it's coming. It's coming, guys. So you better get some warm clothes. Better get some warm clothes before they all sell out, because it's going to happen. All right. Now, speaking of changes and effects from the sun, we have an earthquake a rare earthquake in New Jersey, and it jolts New Jersey in New York, 3.0, which is kind of a nothing burger in Cali, but there, where there's a lot of rock and stuff, it probably shook people up a little bit. All right, so there it is, just off Long Island, right? So is Long Island going to split? It looks like it might want to. Look at that. There's not that much. So maybe we'll have a big earthquake and it'll just tear away. I don't know. I don't see that, but I guess it's a possibility. There'll be some shaking. There's going to be shaking going on a lot of places. Now there's a lot of controversy right now with the liberals. Everyone should be able to have their say, and if they don't like something, it's okay, and they push back on things that, but we have a way of pushing back too, right? So we have a fondness for things. We like merit. They don't. It's like everyone should be equal in a communist system like they want. I guess that's the way it usually works, but communist systems have never prospered, right? They never work. I don't know why the Democrats think that's going to work for them, but they do. And so it has gone to the point where, men in sports, women that are attractive, can't have them because liberal women aren't, I don't know. Are there beautiful liberal women? I don't know, because I'm not attracted to liberals, but maybe. Any of you guys know any liberal women that are attractive? Crickets. Yeah, that's what I thought. So there's probably a few out there. I'm not gonna doubt it. There's strange things happen all the time, right? So, I'm just kidding. All right. But there does seem to be a lot of pushback on beautiful women. So there has been a pushback on this one woman called Sydney Sweeney, and it's going viral. I guess she some Eagle jeans or whatever they are. She's like a model for them, and liberal women didn't like it because she was very beautiful, and they don't like that, right? But us, people that enjoy, merit, she obviously works out. She takes care of herself. She's attractive. There's those of us that have, thought that was good for a long time. And here we go. Let's watch this video.
Hey, eyes up here.
Oh, I just love to do that. Hear that magical ringing, bing, 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 bing. So she went to this very high-speed shooting range where there's former Navy SEALs that teach people how to shoot. That's the way I used to shoot. And basically, if you watch her gun, you'll see that it bounces. So she's not trying to get control of it. She's letting the energy of the recoil take her to the next target. So this is something that I learned. I used to teach this. It's great. It's very, very fast, right? So here is this attractive woman that can shoot. So, I mean, freedom of speech, freedom of, going and, modeling, I guess, Eagle jeans or whatever. So, and then liberals don't like that. But, she's got something else if you get a little out of hand.
Wow.
9:21.
Oh my God, girl. Your first time? That was really good.
You're going dog nuts. I mean,
Ready, girl.
Yes.
Sydney Sweeney has great splits.
Now, I want you to watch this reload. It's good. It's not great. They should work on her reload a little bit. She drops a magazine and reloads another one and starts shooting again. It's good, right? Probably better than many of you out there, but I liked it. I thought it was good.
Those last two shots on top of each other.
You see what I did there, right?
Pretty good. I'd be really proud if I were you.
That's called a double tap, and that's the way it works.
Yeah.
For your first day, that's pretty good.
Thank you.
Where do you want to find it? Right under the window. Oh, that's
Cool. Thank you, Sydney.
nice. Of course. Thank you.
I'm cool with it. I guess liberals aren't, though. All right. So we're just pushing back. We're pushing back everywhere, and it is working. There was another one that I wanted to share. Brittany Grimes, whatever, that real tall, manly looking women's basketball, professional basketball. I pointed out that is a man, and I pointed that out a lot. But still, she played for women's basketball, professional basketball. It's like, why do you do that, guys? So there's a lot of pushback on this stuff. So I guess Brittany Griner, I've been watching her. She's been mouthing like a dude. She's been mouthing like a dude, like, going against all of the not coaches, but the refs. And they've been showing her doing that. And she's married to an attractive black woman, right? He's a black man. Of course, he would be attracted to an attractive black woman. I don't know what kind of relationship they got going on there, but it seems like the women's professional basketball head guy said he is forever barred from playing professional women's basketball, because I guess it's going to come out they did a little surprise test. I don't know if that was like drop your drawers or, like the blood work or something like that. Probably blood work. I don't think they did that, but it's like blood work. Oh, you're a male. And so wasn't it Brittany Griner that went to Russia? Yeah, it was. And Russia and the Russians, because he was using medical marijuana, and he took it, and they told him he couldn't have it, but he took it anyway. It's like, I'm Brittany Griner, do whatever the fuck I want, And the Russians are like, oh no, you're going to prison, bitch, boy. So they put him in prison with the men. And so the Biden administration, they went all out, get that boy back, because that was a big slap in the face, because they're trying to do this big push to destroy women's sports. And we have pushed back on that, and we have stopped that. Thank you, President Trump. But still, they're out there doing that, but slowly, methodically, real justice is working in many different ways, in many different areas. All right, silver and gold, silver and gold. So silver was up earlier. Now it is down a little bit, right? So it is already trading. Silver, as you guys can see from this chart, went down with the stock market as the stock market was going down. So if you go back in time a little bit, a couple months, then you're going to see that silver was, since January, have been going up, up, up and away in my beautiful balloon. And then it went down with the stock market. And then all the silver traders were like, that's bullshit. And then they started buying the heck out of it. And look how far up it went. And then the stock market went down for a few days. And I guess the shorts are taking it, are going to be taking it in the shorts. on silver because they try to manipulate silver down, and it hasn't been working out too good for them, like right there. So it just went up, and silver's had to like close their positions and lose money. All right. So that is what we saw. So big downturn in the stock market. I've been calling it. It's coming. It's coming. You better take your profits. You better take your profits. You better put them in silver. All right. Now would be a great time to do it, but you know, do what you think is right. So right here we have Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, as you guys can see, went down with the stock market. Stock market went down. Bitcoin went down. XRP went down really good. Right, it went all the way down to 273. Looks like 273. Was that how low it went? Today it was like 293 is a low. Went back up to 303. It looks like at some point. So it's trying to work its way back. I'll be working my way back to you, babe. So is crypto going to work its way back to its babe? I don't know. I think it's going to go down with the stock market again. I think the stock market might be going down again, but who knows? It is highly manipulated. Deep state is going to determine when that goes, and they're going to try and make a lot of money on the up and down. So they knew that it was going to go down, of course, and so they probably shorted it and put options and all that stuff, and they made a lot of money on that. And then they'll like jack it back up again, and it'll just go back and forth. And they'll make money going back and forth, back and forth. Now, as you guys can see, the Dow Jones gapped down. So as you guys know, I say gaps have to be filled, right? So will it go down a little bit more? So it looks like it hit the 12-day moving average, and we'll see if it bounces off that tomorrow, Monday. But we also have the 100 and the 200, which is looking like it's longing for it. Because you see this gap right here, that has to be filled. That gap has to be filled at some point. And the Dow Jones will eventually go to that point, either sooner or later. And then it's going to have to fill that gap too. So I don't know. Maybe it'll go down tomorrow and then go back up, and everybody will be like, oh, it's by the dip, and then it'll go whoop, and then it'll go whoop, 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 whoop. And it'll be the deep state be making money everywhere like that, and everybody else be taking in the shorts, right? Because they're not in silver. Because silver, I think, is going to just keep going up because they did the same play, the same play as last time. Looks like. So we'll see. If the stock market goes down on Monday, crypto will go down because that's what crypto does. It goes down when the stock market goes down. So you know the stock market is going to go down. It's going to crash. So what do you think? Crypto is going to do? It's going to crash. So maybe it'll go back up. Maybe not. So silver is the way to go. You sleep well at night knowing. I sleep very well, knowing I have lots of silver. Okay, so let's look at what's going on around the world. Around the world. Around the world. So, crypto, as you guys see, is going up. And why is that? Because futures are going up. All right. So, it looks like the stock market might want to go up on Monday because it went down bigly. Look how much it went down. It went down a lot. 2.2% on NASDAQ, 1.2% on the Dow. It was down. They were down a lot lower, but then they started to rise back up. So maybe they'll come back up. Europe, it went down pretty heavily. FTSE, London was down over 1,000, 2.55%. The CAC 40, the French stock was down almost 3%, and the German DAX was down 2.66. So they didn't like the sell-off in the stock market. Europe has not done as well as America, right? So when America does, as you guys can see, when it does crash, right? When the oil crashes, they're all going to crashes. And so when it does crash, then obviously Europe's going to go down too. And what's going on with Asia? Did Asia start yet? Looks like Asia started. Looks like they're not liking it either. So I was looking at their stock exchange for Friday, and they weren't too happy. They went down pretty good. Now, the one we want to watch is the Nikkei, the Japanese Nikkei. It is down almost 2%. And let's see, looks like the Dixie, the dollar is down a little bit more. Oh, it just popped. It went from 43 to 23. Jeez, that was a big jump. So it was up almost to $1. I think it's going to continue to go up. 10-year, as you guys can see, is rocketing upwards. That's going to affect the stock market. That will affect the stock market. If that continues to go up, the stock market's not going to like that. And the Japanese 10-year, it's going up too. That's why probably the Japanese stock market's down. So remember when the yen trade was not doing so well and the stock market did a big crash several months ago? The Japanese 10-year and the yen and so forth, that trade is at that same level, if not worse right now. So it's not looking too good for the stock market. But yeah, go ahead and invest in crypto and buy the dip, right? Good luck. I don't know. So one last word I will leave you with is the financial apocalypse is nearly upon us, right? I sound somber, but I'm not, because I'm in silver. I do really well. And I'm like, that's why I'm smiling. So some of you haven't listened, and you don't listen to me about the weather. Many of you don't listen to me a lot of stuff, right? But this is one of those things you should pay attention to, because these are the people that have called tops before. Dalio, Burry, and Grantham say the system will collapse. Get ready for the greatest wealth wipeout. Wipeout in history. Wall Street doomsday. Financial judgment day, complacency or catastrophe. Just let it roll. Let it roll. Buy the dip. Are you sitting comfortably, lulled by yesterday's winds, still clinging to the fantasy that this is just another rough patch? Or will you heed these warnings? Dalio, Ray Dalio, Dalio Ray, however you want to say it. He's the man. But they say here, he is not a man given to panic, but his latest forecast is nothing short of apocalyptic. The Bridgewater founder, and I followed Ray Dalio for a long time. He says, he talks gravely of an economic heart attack. He says it's going to arrive within 3 years. So buy the dip until the third year and you'll be fine. Right? Anyway, does it sound dramatic? Because they always do this, you know. They get out early and they say, yeah, go ahead, invest. It's okay. I'm out. So he says America's staggering 37 trillion national debt. Like in this graph. It's insane. So there's never been a higher national debt in history. Look at 1970, 1980, little dip. 1990, 2000. All right. We had a big, hammer in 2000, 2010, 2020, of course. It just keeps growing. This is never good. It's never good. Usually ends in super bubble, like Grantham says. 4 horsemen ride again. All right. So another one is Michael Burry. So he basically predicted the 2008 collapse, and he's saying there's going to be another collapse. He just liquidated almost every asset he held, abandoning a $77 million portfolio. Beyond that, he wagered $98 million against NVIDIA, the gleaming idol of the current tech market. Sell was his one-word admonition. If the most cold-blooded contrarian of our era is running for the hills, why are ordinary investors standing steadfast and not investing in silver? Right. So some of the billionaires have been, and they probably listen to my show. Now he foresees a stomach turning, 50% collapse in equities, warning. I think it's going to be 80 to 90%, warning, because these guys are always under, because they didn't want to sound too far out there. So he's just going with 50%, right? It's kind of like, President Trump, he said it was like 300,000 missing children. There's 500,000, right? Missing. Yeah. So 50%, 80, 90%, somewhere around there, right? And it'll come back in a quarter of a century, like the last time, probably. System meltdown, when the cure is worse than the disease. But a heart attack left untreated spells death. By the numbers, nightmares that don't sleep. Let the number sear into your mind. America's deficit now yawns at 7.5% of gross domestic product, more than double the so-called sustainable level. Annualized interest on debt, 1.1 trillion. That's just the interest payments, and climbing. Imagine if you had a 1.1 trillion every year on your credit card. That would be overwhelming, right? But they just spend more. It's okay. They don't cut costs. They just, you people that are in the educational system that we've manipulated and brainwashed you in, we're going to pay for your college fees, right? Don't worry about it. All those other people that work their ass off and built businesses and pay a lot of taxes that never went to college, too effing bad, right? And how many college people actually use their college degrees? Not many, right? At this rate, and some of them never get jobs because they get a degree in basket weaving or maybe, I don't know, marketing for, I don't know, some of those companies that, have those transgenders like Bud Light. A lot of college people went to Bud Light, and now Bud Light is down like 80, 90% from its highs because they had those men that, were posing as women. Remember that? And all of us men, I don't drink Bud Light, but all of the men that drink Bud Light were like, screw that. We're not going to buy that anymore. We like women like that one that I just showed you, Sweeney, right? So if Bud Light got Sweeney, they would probably quadruple their I don't want to give them any hints because I think they should just go out of business because they're stupid, and stupid is what stupid does, and stupid should go away. So bye-bye Bud Light. At this rate, debt service will suck away 40% of all federal revenues by 2030. Wow. That means we won't be able to, we don't actually give money to, companies like USAID anymore. So won't miss that. So we've been cutting the cost, but not enough. All right. So here he is, Burry, the man who made $1 billion calling the 2008 housing crash. So remember, how long ago was that? That's like 17 years ago. So 17 years ago, if you were a millionaire, that was a big deal. If you're a millionaire today, it's like ho hum. A million went a long way, but $1 billion, that was stupendous. Now $1 billion's like you just have $1 billion. Yeah, whatever. So That's how inflation has really eaten away at the US dollar. 98 million bet against NVIDIA alone. So he just placed a big almost $100 million bet against. That means he's shorting NVIDIA. His latest message to investors, one word: sell. We are still not done. All right. So smart money exodus. Smart money is in silver. I got the best guy. All right. I got the best guy, Kirk Elliott. So get on it. Free consultation. If you have a retirement account, if you have IRA, whatever, you can invest part of that. All right. Don't let them tell you can't, because I've talked to a lot of people over the years that their money managers were like, "Oh, we can't do that," and I was like, "They're lying to you." And then you should hear, because I talked to some of these women that are in their 70s, 80s, and they're like, I told my manager, you will put, so they just like put the foot down. They're like, you will put this percentage in my account into silver. So, and that was years ago. So I know that those smart ladies that didn't have men to like restrict them. Right. So I've heard from a lot of you ladies that your men folk won't do it. So I know that lady that did it a couple of years ago, maybe more by now. She's liking it because silver has doubled from the point where I advised her. Right. So, and she's a very wealthy lady. So she's more wealthy now. That's good for her. She deserves it. She had a great husband, and he passed on. She's by herself, and all of her friends in New York were like liberals, and they hated Trump, and she couldn't talk to them anymore. So it was like, well, you get the last laugh. They're probably invested in the stock market completely and you're going to lose it all. So, all right, guys, that's all I got for now. Love to all of you. Stay in the love vibration. Use your intuition. I do have intuition courses, and also use LifeWave. If you want to live a long time and look younger, want to activate your stem cells, because if you're not activating your stem cells, you're aging and everything's deteriorating. So with LifeWave X39 and the Celergize, you're activating stem cells. It's proven. Yes. And we have lots of people that talk about it. We have people that are going to talk about it tomorrow at 5. Is it 5? 3. Geez. It's what is it? 5 Eastern. It's 3 my time. So which is Pacific. So it's 6 o'clock. So we kept it 6 o'clock Eastern. And come in. Now, a lot of you guys that are watching me here on YouTube, I will, because it's basically a private link, a Zoom link. You can use it. It's in my description. So if you want to come into the private, if you have experiences that you would like to share, we've had your own miracles. Many have. I think it's been thousands of people that have disclosed on just my show over the last couple of years, 2-3 years. So it is, it's pretty amazing. And you should be trying it. Best way to do it is become a brand partner, right? Brand partner, you get the best prices. And if you like it a lot and you tell your friends, then you can get free LifeWave product and, maybe even create some income where you can be free. And starting Monday, those people that are with me in LifeWave, because I have a great team that will help support you if you want to grow a business. A lot of those people are going to have the opportunity to go on a cruise. Yes, a cruise. So you can, and I might be seeing some of you guys on the cruise. I'm hoping I see a lot of you on that cruise, Mediterranean cruise. So, and that's paid for. Flight, you can, and if you get enough points, you can bring your spouse or significant other, or if you're Brittany Griner, I don't know. You might need some income now that you got kicked out of the women's basketball. I don't know if people are going to follow you, but maybe you can visit. Use the patches if you get some good results, and give me a call. Right, I'll help you out. and stop playing like you're a woman. You're a dude. Come on. All right, guys. Lots of love, and I'll see you guys next time.